Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks, the motorcycles, the bison, the deals, the blazer, the craziness. Wow, good Thursday morning there. What an incredible, another beautiful day in so many ways. It's not real cold. The sun shines out here, but the clouds are. But it is a nice day, and it's the fall time of year where now you kind of feel like it is November. So I hope wherever you live, you're having an enjoyable day. And I appreciate, as always, you tuning in my channel to listen to me gab away. Continuation of the Good Morning Conversations, which has kind of had some bumps in it here in recent times. But here we go across the way. Tell you what, that camper, it's incredible what that camper has done for me. And so many out there have been critical of thinking that my wife and I are in shambles and that she kicked me out of the house and blah, blah, blah. That's nothing. There's nothing of that story. What's to be, whoever started that story, I don't know. I'm befuddled on that one. But for me, the camper has been such an outlet for me just to have kind of be me in the fact that, so this is no lie, I lived in that house, upstairs that house, for just forever and ever. And then I put the back addition on the home back in 2013-14, and I argued with my wife about too many windows. I always told my wife, because I'm the guy paying the bill. So as I actually drew out that plan of that back addition on how it should be designed and how it should be engineered and how it should be look and how it would work to flow with the house. Because there used to be a porch back there. And for my wife, she had this, my wife doesn't have, in my views, the physical, like, be able to look at something and really understand really what she's looking at when it comes to dimensions in space. She just doesn't have it. Like those windows over there on this front addition of the house, I argued with her. She was saying those windows that we picked out would be the same size as the windows to the house, the old house. So I was like, they're not. They won't be. It's not going to look right. And I argued with her in that first edition. And so you can see those windows, they're much bigger than the windows that are in the actual structure of the home. Now, we should have put like those windows in the back side of the addition there that's closer to the grill. If you kind of look there, those windows, in my view, would have looked a little more proportional than the windows that we put there. So my wife argued with me about all these windows, and the windows go all the way around the side of the house to the back of the house to the other side of the house. And at the end of the day, it is so bright in that room, it's just too bright. And it's really interesting how when I travel and I go to Florida and I'm in my parents' guest room and it's very dark, I sleep incredibly well. When I'm moving to Tennessee and I'm living in the basement, I live in the basement down here in Tennessee, my mother-in-law's house, and it's very dark, and I sleep incredibly well. But when I come back home, I don't get sleep. I tell you all the time how I wake up all the time, middle of the night, and then I just end up can't fall back asleep. And what do? I end up just sitting there and start reading stuff and content. So, but for me, dummy me, I'm so stupid, I freaking go out and I buy light-colored shades. Which in hindsight now, I should have bought dark color shades. And can I do that? I can. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of project, which I don't really feel like doing or spending. So you can see now the other side of the house, same thing. So that whole room, there's way too many windows. It's way over windowed. It's just beyond believable. My wife we weren't even put windows up there in the eave. And I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. It's too much freaking money. I paid cash. I literally paid out of my own pocket for that home, as that back addition, as I built it. It took me 2 years. It's all said and done. That cost me about $220,000. But that's now 10 years ago. What do you think that paid? I guarantee you today, that would be $300,000, if not more. That'd be my guess today. So the whole point of the conversation is that the camper is dark. And I do still wake up in the middle of the night, but I may only be up for like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. It just kind of depends, maybe a little longer. But then I fall back asleep. And the reason I'm bringing this up this morning is because I fell asleep. I didn't wake up till 8 o'clock this morning. Wow. And this is the crazy thing. So this morning's conversation is going to be about Elon Musk. I'm going to call it the Musk. Did you put any Musk on today? Did you put your Musk cologne on? Sorry, so Ginger and Scout, they're so good. They've gone to the barn. They're so well trained that they're in the barn. Willow and Tango, they want to run around. And Scout, he reeks. Scout rolls around this damn deer poop. And P, that dog, it's, I mean, you're going to want to vomit. He right now, and Julia gave him a bath the other day. And I was like, you gave him a bath? Told her to give him a bath. It's like, nah, there's no way. So Scout right now, he just smells like a walking piece of crap. It's so bad. Because he goes and he rolls around. He's been doing this his whole life. All my dogs have done it, but he's more into that. So his whole fur smells like poop. It's disgusting. I told Julia, you're going to have to give him a better bath today. I don't know what you're going to use to clean him. Put Clorox on him. Who the hell knows? I'm just being funny about that. And so anyways, so the camper, wrapping it up, the camper, I sleep so much better in that camper. And so far, running the propane and electric heater inside that camper, portable electric heater, I'm very warm. Toasty warm. It takes a while, so when I go in there in the evening time, it's definitely cool, so I'm going to run propane and heat all day long. So here we go. Here we come to the shop on the Blazer Adventures. This car is such a different personality when you charge it. And for the record, the Ford charging station, and see here, see this green light? That green light is not blinking anymore because the car's charged up. So the North Atlantic charging system that Elon Musk has created the standard for the supercharger stations is, I mean, I'm kind of befuddled here because at the GM dealer, they're telling me that this is a different type of plug than what my Ford plug is. And that's absolutely not correct. So I don't know. And I bought this adapter years ago for the, get out of there, for the charging, the Tesla charging capability. Right here, if you look here, this is the Tesla adapter for like the Magic Jack thing. But what's crazy is that even for me, but I know what's going on here, the Magic Jack is what you plug into here. Tesla's like this right here. That at a Tesla charging station is different. So you plug that in, but then it adapts to that plug. And if you look right here, I'll put this down, you'll see that these are the same plugs. So it's interesting that the guys at Kuhn's Chevy White Marsh, they kind of know what they're talking about, but they don't. And this is what's pretty cool. You hit that button there and look. So concerning because it's electronic versus the Ford, you just hit it with your hand like a gas cap or a gas cover and it pops open. So this one here, you take it and you hit this here, and wherever you hit it, so I can't even tell. Oh, here it is, right here. So that hits that little button behind it. So that's what's going on. So that opens up right there. Then we're done charging. There we go there. So yeah, so this morning I was thinking about Elon Musk to the point that I had a dream. Yes, I had a dream of Elon Musk and I being friends when we were younger. It was so real. It was so crazy. I can't even get over that. Gosh, that is actually, I mean, so what's the odds of that? Because if you really watch my channel, I've had, get up there stinky, man. I mean, what's so bad is he goes up to my office and he sits near me and it's about vomit time. Oh my gosh. But ain't one thing of one animal, it's another. For Kiefer dog, it was the constant barking, borderline attacking, ball in my mouth all day long, all night long. I mean, to now Scout, who likes to roll around with deer poop all the time and eat it and everything else. All my dogs have been eating dog poop. Just a record, all my dogs have been eating dog poop and well, they have eaten dog poop, deer poop, pea poop, the whole 9 yards. And it's been going on from day one since I've been living here. So now here at the Blazer, the daughter, and the reason I think this is kind of ironic, because Elon Musk is the driving force of this country, really pushing the electric vehicle. Elon Musk is this guy. I mean, it's incredible what Elon Musk is doing. And if you're on my channel and you really started following me years ago, you will see I have so many conversations about Elon Musk and how intrigued I was of him buying out Twitter, which is now X. And so if you really do about him going to the Obama administration and creating the Tesla product and blah, blah, blah. And as you know, Tesla was the famous inventor of electric back in the late 1800s. And his technology never survived, and it was bankrupted over the, just trying to think of the other big powerhouse of electric. I know the name, I can't think of it. So for me, I'm very intrigued with Elon Musk, and it's incredible the stature that he has now become with Donald Trump. But before I get into that, the Blazer, my daughter loves this car. And some people are like, oh my gosh, your daughter's such the ice girl. Well, she is. But until you do what we do, drive around in our vehicles and living on the road. We live on the road in one of the area's worst traffic areas in the country. She got the windows tinted out yesterday at LA Tint, and so it's at 100%. That's good. This is pretty cool. This is a 101 kilowatt battery. It's pretty incredible. So she got the windows tinted out. So what number is that? Is that like number 85? So we did the front windows and the back windows, and then she did a strip. You know, it's incredible. This car reminds me of a kid. The back end has that funky look to it. And it reminds me when I lived in California back in 1973 or 74. My dad's boss at AT&T, they bought a Subaru car, and that was a very early beginnings of Subaru coming to this country, made in Japan, and it had that really funky back end. And so in so many ways, this reminds me as being a kid of this unique architecture of how they designed this back end. That reminds me of that first Subaru, orange colored, that my father's boss had, that lived about a mile away from where we lived. We used to go over there and go swim in his pool, and he invited us over for barbecues. Really nice man. And so now to the kid, and for present day times, the anti-EV people, it's like Chris, my good friend Chris, and Shannon, he's like, I'll never own an EV. And I said, well, you remotely work at home. If you remotely work from home, you don't drive much anywhere, why would you want an EV? For me, the electric vehicle is because my daughter yesterday did about 120 miles, and Brian did about 150 miles. So between the two vehicles yesterday, close to 300 miles of driving. And we do this like every day. For the most part, we do thousands of miles a month taking care of the business I own and run. And I've been doing it most of my life, living behind the wheel of a car. So when it comes to the value, to me, at charging at home at like 11 cents a kilowatt, 12 cents a kilowatt, to the value of going to the gas station to go put 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80 worth of fuel in the truck, it's a big difference in me that I kind of feel like this is a good package for me. But the biggest thing is that until you own an electric vehicle and you have the one pedal driving, and some people may not understand the one pedal driving, and you have the adaptive cruise control, and you have the Super Cruise, or you have the Blue Cruise, but the one pedal driving is an incredible fatigue reliever of you living in bumper to bumper traffic, which that's where we live in. This area, you're always in traffic. You're always being a ton of people in front of you, a ton of people behind you, people cutting you off, people tailgating you. The list goes on and on and on. So, but this car here, the one pedal driving, what that means is, for those that don't know that terminology, it's the regen of these wheel motors bring back energy to the battery pack when you let off the accelerator pedal. So when you push down the accelerator pedal, this is a rear wheel drive. This is not the all-wheel drive. And that doesn't bother me because we don't really live in an environment where it snows all the time. And I have plenty of other four-wheel drive vehicles. So for this vehicle here, in the Ford F-150 Lightnings, and a lot of vehicles out there have it. Most have it. I think some don't. But this has the one pedal driving. So when you accelerate, you take off down the road. But when you let your foot off the accelerator, this then slows the car down by using the wheel motors to regenerate energy to put back in the battery pack. But it's like it's braking. So it literally slows the car down without you having to put your foot on the brake. So if you kind of get really in tune with the car, you'll know how to kind of efficiently use that one pedal and drive down the road and let off the accelerator pedal, and you'll pretty much roll up to a stop. And then the vehicle has the auto hold as well, which my daughter really loves that as well, where you just take your foot off the accelerators, you're sitting at a stoplight, and the vehicle's not going to move. So it's a fatigue reliever, which is just really huge. And then you have the adaptive cruise control, which if you know how to manage that, some people hate it, but if you know how to manage it, the vehicle automatically accelerates and deaccelerates on its own through the radar system up front here, the cameras, the sensors, and the vehicle knows when to start to stop and then to accelerate again. And if you don't sit too long behind somebody stopped, the vehicle will then accelerate again if you've only been sitting for a few seconds. Otherwise, you have to push the accelerator button or you have to hit the resume button on the steering wheel. So once again, for us that work in our cars, this type of vehicle is a huge difference from the ICE. And so it isn't about me wanting these electric vehicles because I'm brainwashed to think that this vehicle saves the world. And if you really watch my channel, you'll know that's the furthest thing that you would ever believe about me, thinking that I buy these electric vehicles thinking I'm going to save Mother Nature Earth. Nope, nothing to do with that. Probably doing more harm to Mother Nature Earth than most people realize, but it's the technology. So for me, it's always about the technology. It's always my addictions in life is buying the latest, greatest vehicle because it's different and it's going to be better. Just like the GT500. So I had a GT500 that I bought, sold it, and bought it back. I should have never done that in my life before. I have a whole video of me buying back my 2020 GT500. But at the end of the day, I sold it again, and I got rid of it only on the speculation that the S550 series generation Mustang, which is being phased out for the new S650 series Mustang, would be a much funner car. I just had this gut instinct that I'll get my GT500 back again one day. And for me, having this dark horse, the Whipple horse, supercharged with the manual transmission, with this manual transmission, this car is so much fun. Can't remember if I lied. Okay, so here you go. The daughter bought rubber mats and a little seatbelt thing for her GT. Sadly, only for that car to be taken away, and it's gone bye-bye. But with the GT500, you couldn't get the manual transmission, only the DCT, which was really cool, badass, fast, nice car. But this car here has just an incredible personality with that manual transmission and the new infotainment center and the supercharger on it. So, and it's so much my GT500 in so many ways, but to me, it's actually more fun. Believe it or not, that car is so much fun to drive around. As you can see, I got myself in trouble with that thing very quickly because of me just having way too much fun with that car. Hey, I had a lady reach out this morning wanting to know if this is still for sale. It'd be so cool if I sold some things. But the challenge here for everybody here, Don reached out yesterday wanting to know, I misunderstood him. And, Don interacts with my channel a lot, and I appreciate that. And it's not easy being on social media trying to comment and try to say something. And what happens is it becomes a miscommunication. So for Don, he reached out yesterday and he said, hey, do you want to sell the ST? Now, I always just had assumptions he was talking about the Street Guys ST. So I responded, no, I'm not, that's not my decision on that. That's for the daughter. So, but then later he commented he was saying the Lowrider ST. I was like, oh, okay. But here's the thing. If Don bought this, I would feel bad because we buried negative numbers into this motorcycle and I still owe $27,000 this motorcycle. So if Don gave me $27,000 motorcycle, that would be very nice of him. But deep down, I'd be like, but you could have gone to the dealership and bought your own, probably. They'll discount it and you probably get it for 20 grand. I don't really know. And maybe 27 grand is a great deal. I haven't been fixated on that. All I know is this. I put numbers together so Chesapeake Harley Davidson reached out to me. They'll give me $32K for my motorcycle. They'll give me $32K. And that's not a bad number for a dealer because I've already had one guy offer me like $33 cash for it so far. I said, it's too early in the game for me to let it go at this point. So I said, hey, tell you what, I want to do a three deal giveaway to you guys. So get a number on the Lowrider ST, get a number on the CVO that's sitting in the trailer, 2021. So they got 3 bikes, and he came back to me. We'll give you 70 grand for all of them. So it's like, oh, that doesn't sound very good. So he offered me $14K on the Lowrider ST. Ha! I'd have to write a $13,000 check to get rid of that motorcycle. He offered me 24 on the CVO that's sitting in the trailer, and I still owe like 32 on that. So I'd have to write an $8,000 check. So I'd have to write a $21,000 check. I mean, yeah, right. Why would I do that? Just keep on making monthly payments, keep on paying them down. Whatever. So I would need 21,000. So the real answer is, if I really just want to sell the bike, I got a guy give me cash tomorrow, which I'm not there. I think this bike has more value than that. And somebody's got to come to the table to pay me for all the accessories. That starts to make sense for how much to sell this motorcycle for. So, but that's another day. Whatever. It may go through the winter months. I mean, the reality is, this is the worst time of year for me in this area to try to sell a motorcycle, because we're in the colder months. And somebody like, oh, I'll just buy it, and I won't drive it. I won't drive it for. It's like, whatever, man, whatever. Okay, just wait till next spring to buy it. I guess you just don't have any money. That's the obvious answer to that, because if you buy the bike for me, you finance it, you're gonna have about a $500-600 a month payment. But whatever. So moving on from that conversation back to the electric vehicle, Elon Musk for Elon Musk, he's a guy that really probably could take credit in our country for being the driving force of the transition to electric vehicles. And he's a very smart guy in how he figured out how to take advantage of the government's money and how to utilize the carbon footprint tax credits. He got rich. He's very smart. He sees tomorrow. Elon Musk sees tomorrow better than most, even though we all want to be critical of him in some ways, because some people think that he takes too much credit for, there's the kid out there walking the puppies. Yes, she is. Being a good mommy. She's doing a great job raising those dogs. They really are characters of dogs. So for some I can honestly say that I think the liberal-minded person that loved Elon Musk now, in so many ways, dislikes Elon Musk. Hey, how about the look, huh? This hat, I brought this hat at Tractor Supply because it keeps my head warm. And then if it's raining out, it keeps the water off my head. It makes a big difference in the winter months of how you feel. I mean, I'm layered up 3 layers right now because it's in the 40s. So this time of year, we're now definitely in the fall months. So for Elon Musk, he truly showed his true colors, and he really did irk a lot of his followers that always thought he was more liberal-minded, more green agenda-minded, and he is, but he isn't. He's definitely the green agenda-minded person to make money off the green agenda. That's what he is. When he bought Twitter and turned it into X, he really showed his flair, and that really did disgruntle a lot of the liberal-minded followers. That stories are true that many Tesla owners got rid of their Teslas and bought BMWs and other brand electric vehicles because he truly pissed the crap out of them, because they now realized that they were funding monies to a guy that would like Donald Trump. Incredible. It's truly incredible. And what's incredible is the first time around when Donald Trump was in office, somebody can correct me on this, but back in 2016 when Trump came in office, he brought Elon Musk on I think kind of like the I don't know, he brought him in a role I thought had to do with kind of the green agenda. And Elon Musk, he didn't stick around long, he left. So, but Elon Musk voted for Joe Biden. So it's very interesting to see what Elon Musk can do with Donald Trump. And now, if you're really following Elon Musk, this guy is being disclosed now that he actually funded the Trump campaign $200 million to help it keep going. And really what you have to say is, did Elon Musk possibly make the difference of Donald Trump being reelected? I would have to say yes. I would have to say that if Elon Musk would have stayed more in the middle, a little more independent, but somewhat, if he would have kind of been pushing more on his X, the liberal-minded mindset, I don't know if Trump would have gotten enough votes. He may have, but at the same time, Elon really in the end came out of like nowhere, and he really became a huge supporter of Donald Trump. And he, as we know, he bought Twitter on the views that Twitter had done devious things to the prior election of silencing the conservative mind and speaking the free speech. It's a big argument over an X because the liberal-minded person's like, yeah, this is a bunch of BS. Elon Musk now just silences us, whatever. It's very, to me, X is a lot of information over there, but just a lot of, sadly, arguing, and people don't like each other. That's really an attacking. It's incredible how many people on X they're very liberal. They're all about Kamala Harris. They're all about the woke agendas. They're all about the radical ideology, and they post all the time. But they're the consistent same posters, and everybody knows in X there's like a most wanted list of pictures of these individuals for each of their accounts. They're all just paid. They're paid actors. These are people all day long. They run their mouth, and they're so bad because they call you MF, and they'll tell you go F yourself. They'll tell you you're an S. I mean, these are people who run their mouth. I just think, wow, why do these people ever think that you get a radical guy that just can't take this anymore that goes and gives them a visit? I mean, you just got to wonder. I mean, there's just some very, very boisterous people. But what comes through all that is it's obvious that they're getting paid. They're getting paid by George Soros or whatever, maybe the DNC. You don't know, because there are people that run their mouth just way too much. They're like, what are you getting out of this? I mean, what are you getting out of this by running your mouth to promote Kamala Harris and you don't like Donald Trump? What are you getting at the end of the day? What's going to change in your life that radically? I mean, sincerely, what's going to change that radically in your life? So that's the point of my conversations, the change. Here is Elon Musk that has taken the reins to really reel in the supporters of Donald Trump and to help get more supporters to help give him victory. But for me, I'm always on the page. If Elon Musk is always on a mission to accomplish something, which he is. And that's what I always said about X and Twitter. When he bought out Twitter, I was always intrigued. Why did he buy it? And I was always on the page because he's going to get infinite media content and information to dump into his artificial intelligence, the pre-trained generative transform, the Chat GPT, the Grok, all the technology that can be fed into computers. He now owns the rights to the Twitter X. So in so many ways, it's proprietary to him, and he can take this and he can run with it to help him maybe advance quicker and faster than other artificial intelligence, which is the talk of town every day of life. And the whole stock industry, the whole stock sector is so driven by all this artificial intelligence of the future of how much money this is going to make everybody and how it's going to change the dynamics. So for me, that's what I always kind of felt was the reason that Elon did that. Now you have to say to yourself, why has Elon Musk gotten so behind Trump versus Kamala Harris for the future of what he wants to grab and control? Because in so many ways, he could definitely be on the Kamala team because they're all green agenda driven. There's, the Joe Manchin out of West Virginia signed the final vote to make the Inflation Reduction Act back in November of 2022. So you have to say to yourself, why wouldn't he have jumped on board with the likes of the green agenda driven ideology? But he went to Trump. So what's that all about? And that's why you have to step back and say, why? I mean, what did Elon Musk see in Trump? Because we all operate on, I like you because you're going to do something for me. That's just kind of how we are. I mean, we all operate, and that's tell the daughter, I've talked about it many times, we all operate off of, you have a value to me or you don't. If you don't have a value to me, then see you later. If you have a value to me, I want to be your friend and I want to do things with you or I want to get things from you, whatever it may be. That's just, go to a car dealership. Why does a salesperson buddy up to you? Because they look at you have a value to them that you're going to buy something to make them money. I mean, why does a teacher like at a college, maybe give you some value. That's questionable these days, but you can go through the list of being in business, whatever it may be, relationships, that you're looking to somebody that's going to benefit you for being friends with them. And that's the whole social inner circle. It isn't what you know, it's who you know. That's, it's the same old story. So for Elon Musk, what does he see? And so the only thing I can figure out, but once again, I question why he wouldn't accomplish the same thing with Kamala if he would have gone that direction. But I think that Elon Musk deep down sees that that administration and that ideology is just getting way too radical. And I think he sees that they're going to, everybody's thoughts for it. It doesn't matter. If you're a conservative, you feel like the liberal side's going to eventually take control of you. If you're a liberal, you think that Donald Trump's going to become Hitler and he's going to put you in a concentration camp. I mean, it's just, whatever. So for Elon, what I see with Elon and Donald Trump is that Trump, first of all, was open to Elon's idea, which with Kamala and the Democrats, it would not be open. He's going to be the new, the Department of, what is it? So I can't think of the name right now, but the whole point is it's the name of the coin, and basically it's about government oversight of cleaning up all the waste. And I know the names, everybody knows. I just is a brain fart. It's like Dodgy or something, DOGE. Even he had a picture of himself that looks like the Terminator guy in a picture with his gold chain around his neck, that he's going to come in and he's going to clean house on the government's wasteful spending of money. So I can see on that aspect for Elon Musk, he feels like he can help and be help the country become better under Trump, because Trump wants to drain the swamp. Under Trump, he sees that he has an opportunity to have a high position in the government oversight, where he can be the guy to start cleaning house and get accountability for where all this money's going and what we should have, what departments we should have and shouldn't have. And I'm pretty sure everybody kind of gets the gist of that conversation. So, which versus for Kamala, he probably wouldn't have had that open arms. But then you think to yourself, okay, so Elon comes in, cleans up house, eliminates a lot of jobs, eliminates a lot of agencies, a lot of oversight, and what's his grab? And I think that his grab is he wants to be able to clean things up so he isn't targeted. Because I think that Elon Musk feels, under the more liberal-minded mindset, that he's going to be targeted for free speech. He's going to be targeted maybe on his autonomous vehicles, because the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration hasn't opened the door for you just to be able to have a vehicle that drives itself anywhere in the country. The infrastructure is not there, it's the technology. And so I was making a running joke here recently on my YouTube channel. I tell other people is, hey, go get the Cyber Cab little autonomous car in 2026, but good luck getting it registered to drive it where you live. You won't be able to. It'll have to be a farm vehicle that's used out in the fields, because it's not going to be legitimate. It's not going to be certified by the state that you live in to be a safe vehicle that drives itself. So Elon Musk, I think, is going to work diligently on trying to get the NHTSA to be more open arms, and to get the states to be more open arms on allowing this technology to come to be legal quicker than later. Then I think that Elon Musk is going to try to get into the energy department side, and he's going to try to move the regulations that hold up the infrastructure of the future power plants and renewable energies and the whole infrastructure to build out these data centers for the OpenAI, for the artificial intelligence, that he's going to probably try to get the Department of Energy to put a pressure more on these states to get states to move quicker on building out electrical infrastructure to support this rapidly growing artificial intelligence data centers. And then I think to myself, for him, you kind of think the FCC, the SEC, you start to think about the different agencies and how he's been called out on basically promoting not a likable social media, and he's also promoting misinformation. And so I think that's a whole other thing that he wants to try to get a handle on, so that the European Union has really attacked him, and they feel like his social media, it doesn't support what they feel is the right views and ideas. And I feel like his is just a sham, and it's just really creating more misinformation and driving a narrative that they don't like, that they don't want you to see their narrative. I mean, so once again, you just think to yourself, Elon Musk, what he's done, he's now going to be in with Trump. Will the relationship work? Now, Vivek Ramsway, he's going to be in with Elon Musk. So there's some very dynamic people coming in. But I think to myself, too, this area I live in. So yesterday I went by Dulles Dodge, and I was going to make a whole video there. And I started to make one, but then I cut it out. Because if you really watch my channel, you know that I'm still working on the Hummer deal. Just so you know, the Hummer deal is still in the works. But General Motors, I mentioned this last night in my other video last night, but on the General Motors finance side, they're not going to approve another deal till this deal gets settled. So this whole deal, so it takes 24 to 48 hours per Scott that he can go back to General Motors and then structure another deal. So right now, could I maybe get news today? It's possible, but I think this is going to probably go more like into Friday or Saturday. And do I even do it? I don't know. Because I just think the numbers are going to be, well, you got to put a big chunk of money down to buy this thing. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just not in position to do that. I'm not going to do that. On this car here, really wasn't much money out of pocket. It's not a big expense. So the Hummer thing will be more challenging. Will it make sense? I don't know. So there's a lot of variables there for that to play out. So for the, so for Elon Musk and Vivek Ramsey, they come in, and the reason I'm bringing this up is, and let me go step back a little bit. So I went to Dulles Dodge yesterday saying, you know what, if I want to maybe I find a Mopar product, maybe I find a Ram, even though I'm just burnt out of all the Dodges. I've said so many Dodge Challengers, Chargers, Ram trucks. I'm just totally burned out. The Jeeps, I've had every Jeep. But they have a bunch of 392 Jeeps. And what Stellantis, I talked to Sam there at the dealership, who's a really cool guy. And it's very challenging to deal with. Stellantis is the general manager at that dealership, and he and I are good friends, and we get to talk, and he shares information. And so we're talking about the 392 Jeep. Well, the 392 Jeep was supposed to be a one-year last-run vehicle, and that 392 vehicle that was supposed to be rare and just one more year left this year, Stellantis at the last second said, nope, it's going to be available in 2025. So it totally killed the perception that you'd be so lucky to get a 392 Jeep, limited edition Jeep that they built. And these are $102,000 to $110,000 Jeep Wranglers with basically a lift. Basically, it's a lift suspension, 35-inch tires, and a 392 6.4 liter motor in it. And I mean, other than that, it's not really anything different than a Jeep Wrangler. It's ridiculous. So I said to him, hey, is there like 20 grand off that thing? And he's like, no, because Stellantis is not giving them any rebates. But I said, do an inventory search. And so he did an inventory search because he right now has like 5 or 7 of these 392s. You didn't see that a year ago. You did not see the inventories of these 392s everywhere. So there's like 260 of these things within like a 200-mile radius or something like that from his dealership. The numbers are pitiful. So I saw his numbers yesterday, and some sales guys are selling 6 cars for the month. And their challenge is that the Stellantis side has priced everything out of the market. Everything. You've heard these stories. Stellantis has raised the price on everything, where everything's 20 grand more. It really is. You just go 2-3 years, everything's 20 grand more. And the guys who bought the jailbreaks, if you bought a jailbreak Challenger and you paid $150 for it, you're lucky to get 70 for it. I'm not lying. If you paid 200 for it, you're lucky to get 70 grand for it. There is a pretty cool red eye mango Charger sitting in their showroom, which if I really wanted that, I could probably get one of those. But then it's like, what do I give up to get that? Could give up a Plum Crazy. But the problem with Plum Crazy is it's in the same ball game everything else is. That thing's value is borderline half of what it was when I paid for it. So it's just like, forget it. It's over. So here's the whole point. That if Vivek Ramsway and Elon Musk come in and they start just doing the big hatchet, they call that in the big business, big hatchet of eliminating agencies and jobs. And they really do eliminate thousands and thousands of jobs. I think about this area I live in, I would have to honestly say this would probably be an area that would start to see an impact from the federal government just getting rid of so much waste. And it would be very interesting to see if this area really did, like all of a sudden, all the guys that sell the motorcycles and the cars and trucks, and you all start seeing like, people are pulling back. And I can sense, you just sense that there is something going on. So now the change of administration, if you're a government employee, you're probably not wanting to go sign up to do something right now, being another payment, another note, because you don't know your future. You could possibly be part of this total. If Elon gets any movement, there'll be definitely resistance. There's a lot more to that, but they're already talking about how the people that will be released would get like a 2-year severance package. So the rumblings are happening. Now, does it really play out? I think most people would be like, yeah, right. It's a lot of running your mouth, but good luck dismantling this army-built, government-based business that makes so much money for others. That how are you going to accomplish it? How are you really going to get in there and get rid of the Department of Education? How are you really going to get in there? So there's just so many agencies that are going to get targeted, but can they really pull it off? There's like 250,000 people on the payroll of the Department of Education, which Jimmy Carter created that back like in 1979. Yeah, wow. Hey, how is the educational system doing in our country? So many people have gone to private. So many people have gone to homeschooling. There are areas in our country where schools have literally been shut down because the infrastructure doesn't support, because so many people have resorted to going to homeschooling, or they've put their kid in a private school. The list goes on and on and on. That is serious stuff. In Maryland, Baltimore City school got called out for ghost students that didn't even go to school there just so the people could keep their job there, because they had X amount of pupils that were in attendance in that school in order for the school to keep X amount of people employed there or shut the school down. And people actually got caught that were cooking the books of students that didn't even exist or weren't even there. So it's real stuff. So it'll be very interesting here. I'm going to have to wrap it up. It's a long video. I can talk a lot, can you tell? So it's going to be very interesting. Elon Musk, does he bring... I think that the shakeup, I think that if he really did get in this government and he really did start dismantling so many people's jobs, I think this area would probably be a wake-up call for this area, because this area, everybody has a job, borderline, that's attached to this federal government. I have so many friends that have jobs that are, their business is, I just saw a deer run across the road down there, just about got hit. That guy just slowed down for that reason. So there's so many people that have contracts with all these government agencies for the cybersecurity and security. And the list goes on and on and on. So it would be very interesting if this played out, that a lot of stuff was just taken apart. But, you know what I want to wrap it up with, though, is what you have to say to yourself: can Elon Musk's presence truly help Donald Trump bring the Ukraine-Russia war to an end? And you have to step back and think to yourself, Elon Musk is in China. Elon Musk has a relationship with the Chai over there in Russia. Over there in China. Elon Musk, does he have a relationship with Putin? I don't know. So, but you have to think to yourself, Elon Musk does have some worldwide presence of doing business, and could he have influence to maybe get China to talk to Russia and just say, look, just the portion of pie you got out of Ukraine, let's just draw the line right now. That's yours now. Ukraine, just suck it up and deal with it, and everybody go home. Could that happen? Now, the Gaza, Palestinians, Israel, I don't know how they're ever going to resolve that. You never will resolve that problem because it's a religious war. So how that plays out with Elon Musk, I don't know if he really has. I don't think he'll have the influence on that whatsoever. Does Donald Trump have the influence to change things over there? The Palestinians don't like Donald Trump because Donald Trump, during his tenure, he cut the Palestinians from getting money and Iran from getting money. So the Palestinians were more anti-Trump back during his time frame, and they favored Joe Biden because they knew when Joe Biden came to office that then the monies would be released to Iran and the Palestinians. But at the end of the day, you have to say, hey, no good deed goes unpunished, because for all the money that the Biden administration released to Iran and the Palestinians, it's an all-out war now. So if they hadn't been given the money, would it be a different scenario where they wouldn't have had the funds and the monies to go play war? That's what it's all about. Whoever has the gold makes the rules. All right, everybody, that's it. Hope everybody has a blessed day and more adventures on Ice Age TV. God bless.